Evan Ross never expected his night to become strange. He was only a maintenance worker, a normal man who checked old service tunnels under the city. Most nights were quiet. He would walk through long empty halls, listen to dripping water, and fix whatever small problem the system reported. But on this night, something different happened. His phone showed a warning from a section that had been closed for many years. The warning said there was heat inside the area, even though there should be nothing alive or working there. Evan felt confused. The tunnel was abandoned 30 years ago. No power. No machines. No people. Nothing. Still, the system had detected something warm moving inside. Evan tried to report it to his supervisor, but the call didn't go through. The deeper he went underground, the weaker the signal became, until finally it died completely. Now he was alone with only his flashlight and tool bag. Most people would have turned back, but Evan was different. He had always been curious. He wanted to know what was inside that forgotten place. So he took a deep breath, wiped the sweat from his hands, and stepped deeper into the dark tunnel. The air changed slowly as he walked. It became colder, as if something inside was pulling all the heat away. The walls were covered in dust and spiderwebs. The floor had old metal pipes running under it, and few of them were leaking drops of dirty water. The sound echoed around him, making the place feel more empty than usual. A few minutes later, Evan reached a blocked section. According to the old maps, this part was sealed off after a collapse 30 years ago. But the wall in front of him looked strange. On the outside, it looked like normal concrete, but when he touched it, the surface didn't feel like concrete at all. It felt like something smoother, almost like metal hiding under a thin layer of dust. Evan stepped back. His flashlight flickered. He tapped it with his hand. It turned on again, but the light became weaker. Then he heard something. A soft metallic clink. Like something inside the wall had moved. Evan froze. His heart started beating fast. The tunnel was silent again, but he was sure he had heard it. He slowly leaned forward and placed his ear against the wall. No sound. But when he stepped back, he noticed something strange. The wall had a small vertical line running down the middle. It wasn't a crack. It looked like the outline of a hidden door. He reached out to touch the line, and the moment his fingers brushed it, the entire panel shook. Dust fell from the top. The ground vibrated lightly under his boots. Evan jumped back, thinking the tunnel was collapsing. But instead of breaking, the wall opened. It didn't break like concrete. It slid open like a smooth metal door. A cold blue light spilled out from the darkness behind it. Evan lifted his flashlight and stared into the opening. The air coming from inside felt older than time, carrying a strange metallic smell. The tunnel beyond the door was not part of a city system. It was something else completely, something artificial, but not made by human hands. Evan hesitated. He knew he should turn around and call for help. But he also knew that no one would believe him. And something deep inside him pushed him forward. Curiosity. Danger. A feeling that if he walked away now, he would regret it for the rest of his life. He stepped inside. His boots touched a smooth black floor that looked like glass. The walls were curved and covered with strange glowing symbols. The blue light came from long tubes lining the ceiling. They flickered like they were waking up after many years of sleep. Evan walked slowly, his breath loud in the quiet hallway. Behind him, the metal door clicked and slid shut without a sound. He was now trapped inside. His flashlight scanned the hallway and showed strange machines on both sides. They looked old but advanced. Their surfaces had no rust. It was like they had been perfectly preserved for decades. Evan approached one of the machines and looked at it closely. The design was unlike anything he had seen in his life. No screws, no wires, no labels. Just smooth, flowing shapes that looked almost alive. He placed his hand on it. The machine lit up instantly, glowing bright white. Evan jumped back in shock. The machine made a low humming sound. The lights on the ceiling grew brighter. Something deep inside the base awakened. A vibration traveled through the floor like a heartbeat that had been sleeping for a long time and finally started beating again. Evan could not breathe for a moment. He realized something terrifying. This place had not been left behind. It was waiting. waiting for someone to enter, waiting for him. He stepped further inside, trying to understand what he had found. The hallway opened into a massive chamber. The room was huge, almost like a hidden underground city. Platforms, bridges, glowing tubes, strange towers, and long black cables hung from the ceiling like giant roots. And in the center of the room stood a large circular structure, pulsing with slow blue light. Evan felt drawn to it, like it was calling him. His voice shook as he whispered into the empty air, "What is this place?" But the base answered him. Lights turned on, machines hummed, screens woke from darkness. And Evan understood one thing. He was not alone in this forgotten place. Something had been hiding here for 30 years, and now it knew he was here. Evan stood in the giant chamber, feeling small inside this strange alien world. The blue lights around him flickered, like they were waking up after a long sleep. Every second felt heavier, like the air itself was watching him. His heart thumped hard as he forced himself to walk forward. He wanted answers, but he also feared what he would find. The machines around him remained silent, but the feeling of life slowly returning stayed strong. Evan reached the center platform where the large circular structure stood. It was about the size of a house and shaped like a ring. The inside of it glowed with a soft, swirling light. It almost looked like liquid energy trapped behind invisible glass. Evan tried to understand what the structure was, but he had no idea. It wasn't human. The design was too smooth, too precise, almost artistic. He raised his flashlight to see better, but the moment the light touched the ring, it reacted. The glow inside grew brighter, spinning faster. Symbols appeared on the floor around Evan, lighting up one by one like footsteps, leading him forward. He felt a sudden chill. It was calling him again. But before he could step closer, something else caught his eye. Along the wall of the chamber, he noticed several long glass-like containers standing upright. They were tall, maybe twice the height of a human. Each one held a thick blue liquid. The liquid glowed softly, casting pale light across the room. Evan's breath caught when he saw what was floating inside the liquid. Bodies. Tall bodies. Not human. His flashlight shook in his hand as he slowly moved toward the nearest container. The figure inside had strong shoulders, long limbs, and dark armor-like skin. Its face was calm, almost peaceful, with sharp lines that made it look powerful, yet strangely graceful. Evan stepped closer until his nose almost touched the glass. He whispered to himself, "Aliens, real aliens." It felt unreal. It felt impossible. But the proof was right in front of him. He reached out and lightly touched the glass. The container lit up instantly, shining a bright neon blue. Evan jumped back as a soft alarm sound filled the chamber. The other containers lit up too, one after another. The walls glowed brighter. The entire base seemed to wake up even more, as if his touch had triggered an ancient system. A deep humming sound rose from the floor. The giant ring in the center began spinning slowly, its energy swirling like a storm trapped in a circle. Evan stumbled backward, not knowing what to do. He wanted to run, but he also wanted to understand the secret hidden here. Then something unexpected happened. A voice echoed inside Evan's head. Not through his ears. Inside his mind. Human detected. Protocol 7 activated. Evan spun around, flashlight shaking wildly. "Who's there?" he shouted. But no one answered with a body. The voice was calm, mechanical, ancient, like it had been waiting for someone to trigger it. It spoke again. Authentication complete. Base awakening sequence in progress. The words made his skin crawl. The machines along the walls activated, lights blinking in patterns he didn't understand. The containers holding the alien bodies began warming. The blue liquid shifted, bubbling softly. One container, the one Evan touched first, beeped loudly. Its glass began to lower like a sliding door. Evan backed away, terrified and amazed at the same time. He watched as the liquid drained out. The figure inside slowly lowered its head and took its first breath in decades. Evan whispered, "This can't be real." But it was happening right in front of him. The alien opened its eyes. They glowed with sharp white light. The creature looked around slowly, like someone waking after a long dream. Then its eyes locked onto Evan. Not with anger, not with fear, with recognition. The alien stepped out of the container. Water dripped from its body onto the black floor. It stood taller than Evan, maybe 7 feet, built strong and imposing. But its movements were controlled, not wild. Evan tried to step backward, but his legs felt numb. His voice cracked. "Please, I don't want trouble." The alien tilted its head, watching him closely. Then it spoke. Not with perfect English, but with broken, slow words. "Human, you came. After 30 cycles, you came." Evan froze in shock. You can talk?" The alien nodded slowly, its eyes glowing brighter. "You activate base. You, a chosen." Evan shook his head. "I didn't choose anything. I just walked into a tunnel." The alien blinked, confused by the panic in Evan's voice. It stepped closer, but not aggressively. More like it wanted to understand him. "You walk. You touch. Base wake. Protocol begin," it said. Evan felt sweat drip down his face. "Why me? What did I do?" The alien slowly lifted its arm and pointed at the giant ring in the center chamber. "You are the key," it answered softly. Evan felt a sudden drop in his stomach. He didn't want to be a key for anything. He just wanted to go home. But the chamber lights brightened again. The other alien containers began opening. More figures slowly awakened, their eyes glowing as they looked toward Evan. He realized something terrifying and amazing at the same time. This base was not just a hiding place. It was a warning, a message, a weapon, and Evan had just switched it on. The chamber filled with soft blue light as the other containers slowly opened. Evan watched each one with wide, fearful eyes. The alien he first awakened stood close to him, as if guarding him. The others stepped out of their pods carefully, stretching their arms and shaking off the liquid that covered them. Their movements were slow, like people who had been asleep for too long. But their eyes, bright and sharp, showed they were already alert. Evan counted 6 of them. 6 tall, strong, armored alien warriors standing in a perfect half-circle. They all looked at him. Not at the machines. Not at the base. Only at him. Evan swallowed hard. Okay, don't freak out. Don't panic, he whispered to himself, but panic was already rising inside him. The first alien, the one who spoke earlier, stepped forward. His armor seemed part of his skin, smooth and dark with faint glowing lines running across it. His eyes had a peaceful but serious expression. "My name, Volek," the alien said slowly, touching his chest. Evan pointed at himself nervously. "Evan." Volek nodded, as if he already knew. "Evan. Human." Evan's voice shook. "What do you want from me?" The other aliens surrounded them quietly, but none of them touched Evan. They watched Volek like he was their leader. Volek raised one hand and pointed at the giant ring in the center of the chamber. Base waited for human. Evan stared at the ring, feeling sick.
Why?
Why would an alien base wait for a human? How does that make sense? Volek walked closer to the ring and touched a glowing symbol on its edge. The entire structure hummed and shifted, the swirling energy inside becoming brighter. The floor around it lit up, showing large circles, lines, and star-like patterns. "You are Guardian Seed," Volek said. Evan blinked. "Guardian what?" Volek looked at him deeply. "Chosen long time ago. Before 30 cycles." Evan shook his head fast.
No.
"You're wrong. 30 years ago, I wasn't even born. How could I be chosen?" Volek stepped closer. His tall shadow fell over Evan. But his voice was calm, not threatening. "Not you alone. Your kind. Your people. Human strong. Unpredictable.
Brave.
Enemy fear your kind." Evan stared at him, confused and scared. "Enemy? What enemy?" Volek pressed his hand on a panel. A hologram flickered to life above the ring, floating shapes, glowing lights, strange symbols. Slowly, it formed into something Evan could understand, a star map. A map showing Earth and several other points connected to it. One of the points glowed red. Volok pointed at it. They hunted us. 30 cycles. They destroy our home. We run. We hide. We come here. To your world. Evan's stomach twisted. So, Earth didn't know, but you were hiding right under us? Volok nodded.
Yes.
Base deep.
Hint.
Another alien stepped forward and added in a rough voice, Enemies search all worlds. They find us. Soon they come here. Evan felt cold. Are you saying the enemy aliens are coming to Earth? Volok's expression darkened.
Yes. Soon.
Evan backed away. His heartbeat was loud in his ears. He looked around the chamber at the glowing machines and the humming ring. Why tell me all this? Why wake me up? I'm not a soldier. I just fix tunnels. Volok touched Evan's shoulder gently, surprisingly gentle for someone so strong. You enter base. You activate. You are key to last plan. Evan shook his head. What plan? Volok looked toward the other warriors and then spoke with a heavy voice. Plan to fight back. Evan laughed nervously. Fight back? With what? You're only 6, and you've been asleep for 30 years. Volok nodded slowly. We are few, but base strong. Machines strong. But base needs human mind to unlock full power. Base choose you. Evan rubbed his face. So, this is like a fingerprint lock? And humans are the fingerprint. Volok tilted his head, trying to understand the analogy. Then, he nodded slightly.
Yes.
Human unlock. Human control. Human decide. Evan felt like the ground was disappearing under his feet. The responsibility felt huge. Too huge. Another alien, smaller but with sharper armor, stepped closer and sniffed the air around Evan. This human's small.
But brave.
He come alone. No fear in steps. Evan almost shouted. I was scared. I am scared. All 6 aliens stared at him silently. Volok spoke softly. Fear is not weakness. Fear is warning. But you still walk forward. That is human strength. Evan wanted to argue, but he couldn't. He did walk in even when he felt afraid. The ring in the center chamber suddenly flashed bright, interrupting them. A sharp tone echoed through the room. Volok stepped back and looked up. System detect movement. Evan frowned. Movement? Where? Volok pointed upward. Surface. Above us. Something enters tunnel. Not human. Evan's blood froze. Not human? You mean? Yes, Volok said, eyes glowing brighter. Enemy scouts. They find base. They come now. Evan felt his knees weaken. Everything was happening too fast. He had just discovered aliens, and now enemy aliens were entering the tunnels above him. Volok grabbed a spear-like weapon from a wall compartment. It unfolded with a crackling sound. The other aliens armed themselves too, silent, focused, ready. Then Volok looked at Evan and said words that made Evan's heart almost stop. Stay close to us, Evan. You are guardian seed. If you die, everything dies. And before Evan could speak, the chamber lights went red, and the entire base shook like something had just entered the tunnels searching for them. The red lights flashed across the alien chamber, turning everything into sharp shadows and moving colors. A deep alarm echoed from every wall, vibrating through Evan's chest. He looked up, scared and confused, but the aliens didn't panic. Instead, they moved with silent speed, like warriors who had trained their whole lives for this moment. Volok raised his arm, and the other aliens formed a tight circle around Evan, pushing him toward the center of the room. Evan stumbled as the floor shook again, dust falling from high cables above. The alarms grew louder. Enemy scouts enter tunnels, Volok said in a calm but urgent voice. They search. They follow life signs. Evan felt cold. Life signs? You mean us? Volok nodded.
Yes.
They smell energy. They smell awakening. Another alien, tall with bright silver lines on his armor, added, They think no one can stop them. They think we are dead. The chamber doors suddenly sealed themselves with a heavy thud. The large ring in the center dimmed, shifting from blue to dark orange like it was preparing for something dangerous. Evan stood in the middle, terrified. Why are they coming now? How did they even find this place? Volek looked at him with a serious expression. When you activate base, energy rises. Enemy feel it, like heartbeat after long silence. So I awoke them too? Evan whispered, guilt forming in his chest. Volek placed a strong hand on Evan's shoulder. You did what destiny asked. Base need human. Without you, we die sleeping. His voice was calm, steady, comforting, but Evan still felt the weight of the situation pressing on him. The ground shook again. This time the sound was louder, something heavy crawling through the tunnels above, scraping metal, hissing softly. Evan flinched. What is that? Volek turned toward the noise, his eyes glowing bright white. Enemy scout drone.
Machine they send before attack.
It's search. It kill. Evan backed away. Kill?
Me?
I'm not even part of this. Volek spoke without anger, only truth. You are part now. The silver-armored alien pointed toward a dark hallway. It is coming. We must stop it before it reaches main chamber. Volek nodded.
Yes.
If drones send signal, enemy fleet come faster. Evan swallowed. Fleet? Wait. There's more coming. Volek's answer was short and heavy. Many more. Before Evan could panic again, the aliens moved. They ran toward the hallway with smooth, powerful steps, their armor glowing brighter with each movement. Their weapons extended, some formed long energy blades, others turned into spear-like tools crackling with electric light. Volek looked back at Evan. Stay behind. But not far. Base protect you only through Link. Evan didn't understand what Link meant, but he followed them anyway. His legs shook as he ran, but the aliens slowed slightly to keep him inside their formation. The hallway ahead was dark, lit only by the soft glow of alien symbols along the walls. Evan could hear the noise growing clearer, metal claws tapping, scraping, dragging through the tunnel like some mechanical insect searching for prey. The sound made his skin crawl. Suddenly, the drone appeared from the darkness, a creature made of black metal and sharp angles. It had 4 legs like an armored spider and one glowing red eye in the center of its head. Its movements were fast, jerky, hungry. Evan gasped. That thing is huge. The aliens didn't hesitate. Volek raised his weapon high and shouted something in his own language, a sharp, strong command. The others charged. The drone screeched, a harsh metallic sound, and leapt toward them with shocking speed. But Volek was faster. His spear sliced through the air and struck the drone's leg, sending sparks flying. Another alien jumped high and landed on the drone's back, punching into its metal shell. Evan watched with wide, amazed eyes. The aliens didn't move like humans. They were too smooth, too coordinated, every motion perfect, every attack precise. It was like watching trained predators fighting an intruder in their territory. But the drone was strong. It kicked one alien aside, sending him crashing into a wall. Its red eye glowed brighter as it charged energy inside its core. A high-pitched sound filled the hallway. Volek shouted, "Cover!" Evan ducked behind the nearest machine just as the drone released a powerful blast of red energy. It hit the hallway wall, melting part of it instantly. Evan felt heat on his face and covered his head. This is insane. I shouldn't be here. But then something unexpected happened. The drone turned toward Evan. Its red eyes scanned him slowly. Volek reacted instantly. He leapt forward and stabbed his spear deep into the drone's core. The drone screeched, shaking violently. The aliens grabbed its limbs and pulled them apart until the machine collapsed into pieces, sparks shooting across the floor. Silence returned slowly. Volek turned to Evan. Now you see. Enemy not stop. They search. They kill. They destroy. Evan looked at the broken drone, fear mixing with shock. That thing was looking for me, wasn't it? Volek nodded.
Yes.
Because base choose you. Enemy want to stop Guardian Seed. Evan ran his fingers through his hair, trying to calm his breathing. I don't know how to be a guardian. I don't even know how to fight. Volok pointed at the large ring back in the chamber. Base teach you. But you must accept. Accept what? Volok's voice dropped to a deep, steady tone. That humans are the final hope. Not us. Evans stared at him, trembling. The weight of those words felt too big, too dangerous. He didn't feel like a hero. He didn't feel special. He felt terrified. But the base lights flickered again, orange now turning to deep red. A new alarm echoed. Volok looked up sharply. Enemy ship enter Earth sky. Evans' world froze. What does that mean? Volok answered. It means the real war begins now. The chamber shook with every step of the enemy scout. Sparks flew across the black metal floor as it lashed its limbs against walls and machines. Evans' heart pounded in his chest. He had never fought anything like this. He was just a human alone, small and untrained. But for the first time, he felt something stir deep inside him. Fear, yes, but also determination. This was not just survival. This was Earth's fight. Volok stepped closer to Evan, his armor glowing faintly. Human, you must control base. Without you, defense fail. Evan shook his head. I don't know how. I don't even know what I'm doing. Volok pointed at the giant circular ring in the center. Touch.
Focus. Think.
Base respond. Evan hesitated. His hands trembled as he placed them on the glowing surface. The moment his fingers touched it, a pulse ran through his body, sharp, electric, and warm at the same time. The chamber reacted instantly. Lights brightened. Panels moved. Machines hummed with life, responding to him. He gasped. It's listening to me? Yes, Volok said simply. Human mind, unpredictable. Enemy cannot predict. That is power. The scout screamed, its red eye blazing, and leapt toward them again. Evan's mind raced. He had no weapons, no armor, but the base responded. Panels along the floor slid open, revealing glowing exosuits designed for human bodies. They were sleek, black with faint blue lines, perfectly sized for him.
Now,
Volok shouted. Evan jumped into the suit. It fit perfectly, as if it had been waiting for him. The moment he activated it, the suit hummed, and his body surged with strength he had never known. He could feel power in every limb. He lifted his hands, and energy blasts shot from his palms, striking the scout midair. Sparks and fire erupted as the creature screeched in surprise and pain. Evan stumbled at first, trying to control the suit. But instinct took over. Humans think differently, Volok had said, unpredictably. Evan's moves were strange to the scout, fast, irregular, and terrifying. He ducked under a lashing limb and struck it with both fists, reinforced by the suit. The scout screeched again, staggering backward. Volok and the other aliens moved beside him, striking in perfect coordination. But Evan was different. He did things they did not expect. He ran up the walls using the magnetic grip of the suit, leaped, rolled, and struck from angles no alien could predict. The scout tried to counter, but it was unprepared for a human fighting like this. Evan shouted, a mix of fear and excitement, I can do this. He fired another blast from his palms, hitting the scout's core. Sparks flew everywhere, and the creature crashed to the ground with a deafening metallic screech. The aliens froze for a moment, stunned. Volok's glowing eyes softened slightly. Yes, human fight differently. You surprise even us. Evan's chest heaved, but there was no time to rest. The scout wasn't the only one. Volok's warning earlier had been true. The enemy fleet was on its way. Sensors on the base flickered, showing multiple energy signatures above ground. Ships were coming to Earth, and they would not stop. The base hummed around him, responding to his movements. He realized something incredible. The alien technology could do amazing things, but only humans could unlock it fully. Our creativity, our unpredictability, that was the secret. That was why he had been chosen. Another alarm rang. A smaller drone appeared, faster, sharper, its red eye scanning the chamber. Evan reacted instinctively. He leapt, spinning through the air, and slammed both feet into the drone, sending it crashing against a wall. Energy from his suit surged through his arms, and he struck the drone again. Its sparks burst everywhere, and the enemy machine finally collapsed. Evan looked around, adrenaline pumping. His heart raced, but he felt alive. More alive than he had ever felt. The aliens looked at him with something he had never seen before. Respect. Not fear. Respect. Volok approached him, nodding slowly. Human, you understand now. Your kind, key to survival. Not just strength, courage. Fearless thinking. You are chosen. Evan wiped sweat from his face. I don't feel chosen. I feel scared out of my mind. Volok's hand rested on his shoulder. Fear is proof you are alive. But you move forward anyway. That is strength. Suddenly, the alarms changed. A bright pulse from the ring in the center filled the chamber. The exosuit responded instantly. Evan realized he could feel the base itself moving through him, its machines and energy responding to his thoughts. Every weapon, every defense system, he could control it. He was not just fighting anymore. He was commanding an entire alien base. The scout drones outside screamed again as they detected him. Evan raised his arms and sent a wave of energy through the floor. Sparks shot through the tunnels. The drones stumbled and crashed. The aliens behind him nodded in approval. Evan realized something huge. He was not just fighting for survival. He was fighting for Earth, for humanity, for all the people above, unaware of the danger beneath them. And somehow that made him stronger. Volok spoke again, his glowing eyes fixed on Evan. Enemy fleet comes.
Soon.
You must be ready. Base will obey only if human guides. Evan took a deep breath. He looked at the aliens around him, the base humming with energy, and then at the tunnels leading up to the surface. Then, I'm ready, he said, voice shaking but firm. Let's fight. The base pulsed brighter in response, almost like it had heard him. Evan felt every nerve in his body alert, ready, alive. He was a human, small, untrained, and yet the most dangerous thing the enemy would ever face. And the real battle was just beginning.